The Chuwi Hi9 Plus is a 10.8-inch Android tablet from China that offers a lot of interesting features even though its price starts at just around $200. It has a high-resolution screen, an Helio X27 deca-core processor, integrated LTE and almost pure Android Oreo. Additionally, you can get it with an optional keyboard cover and an active stylus. Well, how good is this China tablet? I'm NJ for mynexttablet.com and that's what you will find out in my Chuwi Hi9 Plus review. Even though the Chuwi Hi9 Plus is very affordable, the build quality is pretty good. As with the smaller Chuwi Hi9 Pro, we do get a full metal body here, at least almost. There's a plastic cover for the antennas only. It is completely black, feels solid, is 8.1mm thin and weighs 500 grams. When holding it in portrait mode, we get a power button and the volume controls on the right side. There is a connector for the keyboard cover on the left side. And on the top we get a USB-C port, a headphone jack and a card slot. In this one you can put either two SIM cards or a SIM and a micro SD card. Yes, 4G is built in as a standard and you can even use it to send SMS or make phone calls. Both cameras have a resolution of 8 megapixels. The front-facing camera is located on one of the shorter sides, which is a bit unusual. Obviously, like pretty much always, smartphones take much better photos. But considering this is a China tablet, the quality is not too bad and good enough for snapshots. On the back, the Chuwi Hi9 Plus has two speakers built into the metal body. The sound quality is acceptable, but certainly not good. It's fine for watching some YouTube, but if you turn up the volume, the sound can be a bit scratchy. I love that you can get the Chuwi Hi9 Plus with an official keyboard cover, because not many are offering that. The design of the keyboard cover resembles the one for the first iPad Pro generation. If you close the cover, the screen is protected, but the back is not. The keyboard itself is pretty good. It consists of real keys that you can really press down. The keyboard is as big as the keyboard from 10 to 11-inch notebooks are. I was able to type on it comfortably without having to get used to it that much. However, there's no touchpad. During my review, I encountered two weaknesses of the cover. An unfortunate but not too bad one is that the screen does not turn on or off automatically if you close or open the cover. However, a more severe problem is that the keys of the keyboard can press onto the screen if the cover is closed. That wouldn't be an issue if the keys would be turned off when doing so, but that is not the case. I wondered at the beginning why the battery discharged so fast and why it got warm when carrying it in my backpack for a couple of hours. Well, that happened because the keys of the keyboard press onto the screen while being in my backpack. So there's the keyboard input and the screen is turned on. I fixed the problem fast by disconnecting the keyboard and tablet when putting it into my backpack, but still that is not ideal. One reason for getting an official keyboard cover and not just a Bluetooth keyboard is so that the screen can be protected, but well, maybe Chuwi will fix this with an update. The Hi9 Plus has a 10.8-inch screen with an aspect ratio of 16:10. It is an IPS display with a high resolution of 2560 by 1600. That means that the resolution is much higher than the ones from more famous brands in this price range. Text and pictures look sharp and you can watch YouTube in 1440p. So the high resolution is great, and I also like that the screen is fully laminated. Other aspects like viewing angles, contrast and color reproduction are good too. It also is bright enough to use inside or outside in the shadows. It is a bit too dark to use comfortably in direct sunlight though. You can navigate the touchscreen with your fingers and an optional pen that costs around $25 to $30. That one is called Chuwi Hi Pen H3 and works with the Chuwi Hi13 as well. Even though the pen is inexpensive, it is mostly made of metal. You have to insert a battery in the back, which is included. On the side there's a button and the stylus supports 1024 levels of pressure sensitivity. I played with the pen a lot and it does work, but sadly I did notice two negative things about it. For example, the stylus might support 1024 pressure points, but the tablet certainly does not. I did not find any app that can distinguish between how hard I press. Another downside is that the stylus is not as precise as the Surface Pen, S Pen or Apple Pencil. You can use it just fine to replace a mouse or to draw a bit just for fun, but you cannot do precise drawings, and even handwriting is not as precise as it is with the competition. Sure, these other pens usually cost over $100, so I guess it is to be expected that this much cheaper one is not that great. As I said, it does work, but I really cannot recommend it for professional designers or photographers, and I wouldn't use it to take down notes at school or so either. The Chuwi Hi9 Plus houses a MediaTek Helio X27 deca-core processor that consists of 10 cores. 2 of those are clocked at up to 2.6 GHz. Additionally, we get 4GB of RAM and a 64GB internal storage. Out of those, only 8GB are used by the system. The tablet supports Wi-Fi, GPS, Bluetooth and 4G. I reviewed the Teclas T20 with the same Helio X27 chipset already, and indeed the benchmark results of both tablets in Geekbench 4 and Antutu are similar. If you look at these alone, the Chuwi Hi9 Plus could almost be seen as a high-end tablet performance-wise. However, those are benchmarks. In reality, the performance is more similar to the Samsung Galaxy Tab A10.5 or Lenovo Tab B10, which are middle-class tablets. That's not bad though, because both usually cost around $100 more. But still, don't get fooled by benchmarks alone. The performance of the Hi9 Plus is good enough for most things. You can surf the web in Chrome, watch YouTube and edit photos in Lightroom without any big issues. I think it would have been better for Chuwi though to choose a lower resolution for the screen, because sometimes the UI can seem a bit laggy, but you probably won't notice that unless you are very picky. The gaming performance is good enough too, but it certainly is not a perfect gaming tablet. Games like Asphalt Extreme and Mortal Kombat 5 run fine, and I played Into the Dead 2 at medium graphics as well. The same goes for PUBG Mobile. If you set the graphics to balance, it is playable, but you will see some stuttering in between no matter how you set the graphics. Chuwi is shipping the Hi9 Plus with Android 8.0 Oreo. That is great because the similar Teclas T20 is running Android 7. Usually, tablets in this price range don't get updated at all. In a Facebook post, Chuwi promised to release an update to Android 9 this year for the Helio X27 tablets though. The Hi9 Plus is one of them. I don't know if Chuwi will keep that promise. With that being said, they did release an update while I've been reviewing this tablet, so they actually do continue to improve this software. That certainly is a good sign. As I said, it is running Android 8 Oreo right now, and I think it is great that Chuwi did not pre-install a heavy UI. In fact, it is pretty much vanilla Android. There are some Google apps pre-installed, as well as a file manager and an FM radio, and there are a phone and text messaging apps. As I said, you can make phone calls with this tablet. Well, since Chuwi is not using a heavy UI, I don't have that much to say about the software. Again, it is pretty much vanilla Android, and that is great. By the way, like most Chinese tablets, the Chuwi Hi9 Plus does not support Netflix in HD. You can watch Netflix, but not in HD. In my standard battery test, the Chuwi Hi9 Plus got a runtime of 8.5 hours. For this test, I'm always looping the same HD video at a medium brightness. Sadly, those 8.5 hours are very weak. In reality, you probably won't get an active use time of over 6 hours most of the time. That obviously depends on what you're doing. It is also disappointing that the tablet loses quite a bit of energy while being in standby. If you turn off the screen when the battery shows 100%, it will be empty after about 3 days without actively using it. Alright, that's my review of the Chuwi Hi9 Plus. Can I recommend it? Considering its price, the build quality and especially the screen are very good. I also like that we get almost vanilla Android and integrated LTE with the dual SIM slot. While the performance could be better, it is fine for its price. However, the speakers and especially the battery life are pretty bad. Those are typical weaknesses of a lot of China tablets. The main highlight of the Hi9 Plus are the optional pen and keyboard. Both do work, but both are not perfect. I can recommend the pen as a mouse or to play around with only. The keyboard is totally fine to get some work done, but the cover part of it could be better. Inexpensive tablets like the Chuwi Hi9 Plus certainly have its place. Usually, you cannot get an Android tablet with a great screen, stylus and keyboard cover for under $300 US. most of the time you have to pay at least $100 more. So I can recommend the Chuwi Hi9 Plus if you don't want to spend a lot of money but want a high resolution screen, integrated LTE, almost pure Android, and an optional keyboard. However, you should keep a couple of alternatives in mind too. A direct competitor is the Tecla's T20. It is inexpensive, has very similar hardware, but also a fingerprint scanner. You can't get it with a pen or keyboard though, and it is running Android 7. But the interface seems a bit snappier. If you're looking for an 8-inch tablet, you should check out the Chuwi Hi9 Pro. I really like that one, and it even is a lot cheaper. The hardware is very similar, but you can't get it with those accessories. An interesting alternative from a more famous brand is the Huawei MediaPad M5 Lite 10. While it has a Full HD screen only, it offers 4 good speakers, a longer battery life, an optional and better stylus, and depending on where you live, prices might be similar. Alright, that's my review of the Chuwi Hi9 Plus. If you have any questions, please write me down below. I'm Anjay for mynexttablet.com. Thanks for watching.